I was incredibly scared to go back to the place which my family calls home. You see, my family is originally from Lima, Peru. When I turned 5, my parents decided to move to California in search of the American dream, completely undocumented, meaning we would not be returning anytime soon. For years, I only knew the rest of my family through brief phone calls and sporadic letters, disconnecting me further and further from my roots. When I turned 14, my family and I were finally able to obtain green cards, meaning that we would be able to finally go back home. I was instantly worried, though. I knew I had an accent when I spoke Spanish. Would they judge me because of this? I've never felt fully Peruvian growing up in the United States. Would they like the person I've become? I knew my family was incredibly close. The relationships made before I even existed were thriving, even after spending 10 years apart. I didn't have time to form those bonds at the mere age of 5, and I was worried I was too late. We landed in Peru for the first time since our departure in the summer of 2012. The culture shock hit me as soon as I walked out of the Jorge Chavez airport. Everything felt wet and sticky due to the humidity. It was loud and chaotic trying to navigate my way through a busy crowd with the sound of taxi horns getting more intense by the second. As we finally rested at my grandmother's house after a day and a half of traveling, I was informed of a party our relatives were throwing in our honor that very night. That night, my brother and I clung to each other as we walked into a room of strangers. Within the first 3 minutes, we were separated and lost each other in the midst of balloons, blaring music, and welcomes. My aunt grabbed me by the hand and dragged me towards a group of women with huge smiles plastered on their faces. These women were my tias. They immediately took me in their arms, kissing my cheeks and exclaiming how beautiful I looked. They then started recounting memories they shared with me during my years in Peru. Remember when Fabianita ate that spicy ceviche and her cheeks got instantly red? Fabianita, you were always the life of the party, dancing to that song La Ciguapa. While I didn't fully remember these experiences, I felt identified. I realized that these people knew me, but not only that, they loved me. I might not remember forming a bond, but they sure do. My anxiety went from an all-time high to non-existent, and my fear washed away. I instantly decided to open myself up to everything they had to offer. Their love, their culture, their lifestyle, and most importantly to that bond they shared with me, which started all those years ago.